I want to start with a simple question for you. Do you recognize what family this is? And now, can you tell me what bee this is? While I too love The Simpsons, in 2018, the bee was named the most important living creature. Yet, almost none of us are able to recognize species like the southeastern blueberry bee. As a kid, we all have this intrinsic love for nature, just waiting to be explored when we have our first nature experience. For me, it was the sparrow. This one sparrow that would come to my window and sing sweet lullabies to me. As a baby, I would laugh when she would come peck. My mom tells me she was the first bird I ever saw, visiting me the day I was born, and coming back since. She says she was like a second mother, or my amma, sent by the gods and checking in on me to make sure I was safe. I know that most people in the West know Delhi as the most polluted city in the world. But to me, it was my home. What I didn't know at the time, though, was that it is also the second most bird populous city in the world. I had inklings, the sparrow first, then the family of hornbills that moved in next door, the night owl that screeched right before my bedtime. I would spend hours waking up before school started on my balcony, cosplaying as an ornithologist. My parents started taking me to national parks on holidays, and the songs of birds finally started waking me up in the morning rather than the screams of my human mother. And in all this, my sparrow was with me throughout. But one day, the birds stopped singing and the sparrow stopped visiting. The air wasn't silent. I could still hear countless traffic horns, but no birds. I remember waking up to a gray sky outside my window. Even if the sparrow was there, I couldn't see her. I could only see black and sooty, smoky air. I coughed and coughed to the point of having to go to the doctor while my school was shut. Delhi was shut, put on an emergency lockdown due to pollution. I never saw her again, but I did see this pollution emergency without fail, ear by ear. What was her fault? What was mine? The more I fell in love with nature, the more it broke my heart to see that we were contributing to pollution events and fueling global climate change. I knew I had to do something, but what? What could a little kid sitting on his phone in India possibly do to protect the species around him? Well, I decided to share my backyard discoveries with the world and started posting them online through the only medium I knew, photography. They say a photograph speaks 1,000 words. I say a photo evokes 1,000,000 emotions. How could I explore this emotional intersection of the wonders of nature and the mindset of humanity? I realized my images could be anything: a love letter, a prayer, a warning. I don't just photograph wildlife, I photograph absence, the ache of what's changing, the quiet mourning of a wing that no longer returns for the summer. Through my lens, I try to show people what I was seeing: this dual sense of beauty and loss, what is and what was, the fragility of ecosystems, but also their endurance. And slowly, this community grew to over 900,000 people following my work on social media. So every time you see a photo of mine, I want you to ask yourself, is this the last time I see this creature? And then think, what can I do to save it? To all of you wanting to take action, use your skills. Whether you're a painter, a writer, or a corporate employee, use your work to include some form of climate storytelling. I think we can only effectively practice climate storytelling if we speak from the heart. Personal stories, cultural values, stories from childhood. I had to recognize that my grief isn't mine alone. The silence left by birds disappearing due to climate change is shared. A child in India misses it, and a biologist in Kenya studies it, while a grandfather in Canada remembers it. But that's the magic of climate storytelling. We are different, but our stories overlap. Your stories, they can cross borders and connect you with people across the globe. I promise, if it moves you, it will move someone else. And that's where change begins. Not with data alone, but with feelings. For me, It was the 500 bird species of my home Delhi. What is it for you? When you get your answer, go out there, use your talents, and write that story. Your climate story.